At this time, I invite Kevin Milkey, the chairman of our congregation, to come forward. I'm going to pull the other mic down. But for starters,
Hey, good morning, everybody. How you doing? Good. Lovely fall weather. Nicer than that hot summer weather. We've got some interesting things to show you this week. Those of you that follow my fun part now talking about, believe it or not, is the financials, because you've seen them, you know what I'm talking about. So I have a smile on my face. We have so many good things going on in this church. We've got a lot of new people we welcome this year. We've got a lot of fun things going on, and we just appreciate all of you for coming and participating and doing what you can do, as Pastor said, sharing your time, talent, and your treasures with the rest of the people here in the building. We're going to start off. We follow our usual template. He'll bring it up here in a minute, but we'll bring the council guys up again to have a chat with you. And as you know, we're going to be showing you the new council, the council that we're putting forward for next year. And there'll be a couple of new faces, including one standing up here. So I've been president here off and on between Jason and I think for the past 15 years. So we figured, well, maybe it'd be time for someone else to come up and have a chat and see what they can do. So you'll see some new names up there. With the way that's going to work, I'll mention it again, is we're going to show you the names. Then in 2 weeks from now, we'll have a short meeting after church, and then you'll just vote to approve the council, and then they'll be installed. I think we usually do it the first Sunday in January. But we've got 2 or 3 people that are rotating off, and some, as I said, some new faces coming on. Oh, here he comes. I like it. He's young enough to run. All right. No. You got it? Okay. I think we're going first. Yeah.
okay. Here. The cover on my mic keeps on jumping off. All right. Kevin, agenda outreach, trunk or treat happened. It was incredible. I think most of you know that. There are pictures up on the website for that. Next Thanksgiving Eve is Wednesday, November 27th at 7 p.m. This is historically what we have done. It's a great time to bring a visitor because it's a little bit off and maybe they're free from work and a little different service. After that, Christmas for kids. Many children hear the Christmas story for the first time. It is right after Sunday School Christmas program practice, so it's convenient for our little flock. And again, it's a great chance if you just want to bring a friend. There will be people from the community. We advertise that heavily, and people straggle in. It's a lot of fun to see a child who's never heard the Christmas story before. And a lot of time they think they know it. But just to see that light go on is awesome. Next is Sunday School Christmas program. Again, you heard me plug that with the kids during the children's message. This is awesome. And if you've never come, it is a unique service. It runs in place of our regular worship service. And just to foreshadow, on that day also after this, we're going to have an evangelism meeting just to kind of run through some dates for the new year. It will not take long, but just to get some input from people on what we wanted to do in the new year. And there's no Bible study before or after because of the logistics of that day. Finally, Christmas Eve candlelight, another great chance. We have some people who came into our church through this service last year, so we're excited about that opportunity again in 2019. It's a great chance to bring a family or a friend. And just to give you a couple dates in January already, Friday, January 24th would be another movie night for us. That went really well last year. We're going to try to keep on growing. And there's 10 different chilies, I believe, on that table. I was always amazed at how different they were. Some of them may have been better than mine, but I don't admit that easily. But anyway. And that, I will, of course, send this out. You don't need to scribble it down right now, but that's kind of the overview of what will happen in the next few months. And I included the next year, but this is just kind of the general outline of our outreach work. And we actually updated a little bit. We got more ambitious. from our original plan back in December 2018 for what we did in 2019. So it's been adjusted to reflect that. It's been an incredible year, all that we've done. I think we've gone through 10 Thrivent grants. No, 12. I think we have 2 left. So, yeah, we've done a lot of work together. And that's that outreach meeting on the 15th, following Sunday School Christmas program. Some of you have started to take different parts, whether it be the website or Twitter. And so we're just going to keep on trying to give away different pieces of it, and it's not so bad. So, any other questions as we continue to do outreach? Those banners are pure gold, by the way. I never thought that they would be. But come on downtown. I'll just ramble.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tom Clarkson. Talk about some of the adult discipleship. First, there's the women's Bible study, and that's going great. I haven't been there, but I hear from people that it's just wonderful. So, if you're interested in that, you should check into it and participate. So I think you'd be well rewarded by doing that. Another Bible study we're doing every Sunday at 9 o'clock. We're going through the 1 Corinthians in real depth, and we have actually drawing on some seminary resources and even diving sometimes into the Greek. But what's really amazing is when you really, really study some of the scriptures, interesting questions come out. And so I think for me, one of the more interesting things about the class is being able to ask questions in the discussion about some of the topics of interest. So if you haven't been, I suggest you come. It's pretty easy. It's right before church. Then the after worship Bible study. As you know, we've been doing apologetics, which helps you answer questions that you might get about our faith, and that's been really interesting. I think it's pretty cool because it addresses a lot of topics, and it's pretty much a different topic every week, so that's a lot of fun. And so that's going to continue for a while. The other thing, too, about the Sunday Bible studies at 9 o'clock, if you've got things that you'd be interested in doing for the future, maybe starting next year, let myself or Pastor Fred know, and we'll consider those as input for topics that we might do in the future. So if you have something that you've been wanting to study, let us know. Then there are also resources on the internet. We've talked about these before. These are really good. I particularly think the podcast is nice because you can play it as you're driving along and whatnot. But if you haven't tried some of these, I suggest that you look into them. They're to Pastor Fred's talk about the 1 minute. You can add to the 1 minute with a podcast every day, so it's kind of nice. Then the men's lunch, this time is at First Watch on Stratford Road, and that's fun. So the men get together and have lunch, and it's a different restaurant every month, and it's quite a bit of fun. There's more information on the website if you want to know more of the location. And that's about it. Jason. Any questions about the other stuff?
Good morning. A few slides here with youth discipleship. First off, a big thank you to all of our Sunday school teachers. We really appreciate your help. We've had enough teachers that we have 2 classes, which is very beneficial to the kids. You can kind of target the message to that age group, so that's going well. We have great turnout with that, so thank you, Sunday school teachers. We are transitioning here into the Sunday school program. Thank you to the teachers that are taking that over again this year, and it was a huge success last year. I expect it will be again this year, and as pastors mentioned, that's a great way to invite community members in, and it's less threatening. A bunch of cute little kids up here singing and giving messages, so that's a great time to be here and enjoy that. We postponed our hiking trip. Our youth are very active and busy in all aspects of their life, so we had a lot of different youth soccer organization games going on in our previous attempts. So soccer season winding down. We're hoping that we can make this a go the 16th of November, and you don't have to be a youth. If you want to do some hiking with us, our plan is to start at Salem Lake, not do the whole 7 miles. The whole trip, the loop is 7 miles. We're going to walk until we're halfway tired because we have to walk back. So walk for a little bit, and then decide to turn around. We'll have some food, a devotion afterwards, and get to hear God's word on that experience. The other thing, too, a long-standing tradition is to do a youth lock-in. We're going to do that again here in January, another opportunity for the youth to have fellowship, fun, devotion tailored to their age range, that they usually enjoy that. There are two that are going through confirmation and are getting closer to the end here and will be confirmed in a couple months or a few more months than that. But that's going on, and talk to Pastor if you have any questions about confirmation. That's it for me.
Good morning. Give us a chance here. So we got our property report here. As you all know, there's been a lot of work going on within the building and outside. With everyday maintenance, we got a lot of brush removal. I think there's still a pile out back that we still need to get taken care of that we haven't got to yet. We've been talking about pew repair and or replacement. We got a few different options we have up in the air. As we get a little further along and get you some numbers and stuff like that, we'll pass on more information to you with that. Same thing, the stained glass, we're still working on that. We're still working on crunching some numbers and getting things taken care of there. As we get more information, we'll get it passed along to you. I'm sure the men have noticed there's quite a change in the men's room with the old urinals being removed. It does look much nicer in there. We've opted not to put any new urinals in. We're just going to stick with the regular toilets. And at this point, I am actually going to turn it over to Pete Marty. He is heading up painting the bathroom here. Do you want to come up, or do you want? Okay.
Good morning, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Pete Marty, and I'm trying to help Dan tackle a lot of the problems with the lot of the maintenance and everything around the church. And I've got a favor to ask of all of you. We need your opinion on what color to paint each one of the bathrooms, the men's bathroom and the women's. We'd love to have them painted by Thanksgiving, getting us, have them both done before the holiday season. And I think it's really important. So I would like to ask you, I have paint chips out in the classroom right beside the narthex, and I would like you to go out and give us your opinion on what color. There are a lot of chips that I've brought, and but we want to get a good idea of what the women would like in their bathroom, and same with the men's. The other question is, we're going to need some help, and there's a sign-up sheet also out there for anybody that loves to paint. It looks like Jason, we're going to try to get it done as soon as possible. On the sign-up sheet, it also says, tell us a good day that you could help us paint for a couple hours. Things are going well, and that's all I have to say. Pastor.
Just a comment, Pete. If you look up at the ceiling, there's no longer anything now. Not sure how we feel the walls. But the point is, there's a lot of little details that you may not notice in our church that just makes the church overall.
Any questions? It's my pleasure. This is a very special place to me, and it always will be. And whatever I can do, I want to help in every way I can. So it's just a spearhead. It's all of us. This is the place we worship, and it's very important. So anyway, any other questions concerning the painting of the two?
He's very eager. That being said, with all the projects that are going on coming up in the budget and stuff, you will notice there's been a little bit of changes between the budgets from last year to this year. So just keep in mind that we have been doing a lot of things around here, and that is going to correspond with that. Who we got up next? Is that you? All right.
Thank you. Oh, Tom. Oh, there he is. Where did he go? Do you want to clip that?
Good morning. I'm Tom Parsley. Wanted to just take a minute and go through some statistics with you briefly to reflect where we are as a congregation. You can see the if you're familiar, last month's numbers, it's pretty similar. We definitely had an uptick in 2019 in attendance and membership and all of that. You see all that list of programs that we're doing and events, and all of those things put us in touch with our community, and that's the reason we have new people in our church. So everybody that's been involved in that, the fruit is showing up in the numbers and statistics and the finances and everything. So thank you for all of that. Here's our membership rolls. They are, again, have climbed a little bit from last year, and I would expect that as long as we keep working hard as a congregation, that it will continue to grow. The thing that's coming up in a couple of weeks are the elections for the new council. These are the proposed candidates, and Garland Simrell, we just had he and Sarah, we had a baby shower not too long ago for them. They're expecting their first child. He has agreed to run for the office of chairman of our congregation, relieving Kevin. Kevin's been on here a long time, as he said, done a great job, and we're expecting to get a nice addition with Garland. If you haven't met him, you need to meet him. He's a dynamic young man, so we're excited to have him join our group. We've got some new folks on there. Russ Ben is also a new addition to our council. Then we've got some of the regulars as well, and as Pete talked, he's helping Dan out with all the work that's on infrastructure here that needs to be done. We have a lot of it, and we're budgeting for some of it for the next year or two. We have an open position of evangelism. We have a candidate in mind, and we're going to be having further discussions with that person, but I believe that should be settled in a couple of days. Then we have the people that keep our congregation going, Penny and Jeanette, and they're agreed to serve another term, so that's great. We appreciate that, and I'm in the middle of my term as elder, so I'll be here for as long as you have me, I guess. Thank you.
All right, very good. I think most of you know Russ. Russ is here. Russ, you want to wave? Just say, there's Russ. Russ is going to help us out in the secretarial position. I don't think you've ever done that job before, right? But no hill for a climber like you, that's what I say. But with most of the people on the council, there are terms in the bylaws for our council. We've largely ignored them over the years just because we didn't have a lot of people. But some of the people, as Tom alluded to, are on the council and they're in the middle of their terms, of this term. And then the idea is that half the council rolls off every year. So you get new, fresh faces in there and some new ideas and all that sort of stuff. So that's all good. Now, the financial report, we've alluded to that in some of the other chairman reports thus far. But so far for this year, you do get the Friday financials, right? So everybody has a chance to see them. If you're not getting them and you'd like to, you have to talk to Pastor. But we try and keep you informed every week of where we're at. Just it's a better way to do business. And so our income thus far this year is 114, expenses 106, so we're net at 7905. We show you on those reports, more information on that, what our average giving had to be this year to hit our $120,000 annual budget. Not hard to figure out. We break it out by the week, how we did that week. We're projecting now we're going to come out ahead of our 120 budget, which is phenomenal because that hasn't happened in a while. So what we can do with that money, now we've projected it into our 2020 budget. And just like at your house, you know, if you don't have money to fix the roof and you don't have to, that has to wait. Some things have to wait if you don't have the cash on hand. So now we're projecting now for next year, we're looking at bumping up our budget 16% to 138.6. That's kind of where we think we're going to end up this year, which is very, very good news. So what that affords us to do is some of the things that the guys have been up here talking about. You know, fix the window, do the parking lot, right, Ed? Ed's been trying to get that done since he was on the council. Do some painting, just do things in the building that make this the sort of the inside curb appeal when we have people come in that they see that we take care of the Lord's house, and that it would include the pews, whatever we decide to do with the pews. When we when we have large expenditures of money, we will always get together with you and get your input on it. Like if we change the sanctuary with the pews or whatever options we have, we would have a special meeting for that if you wanted to attend it. Be right after church, and you could give your input into how you would like the sanctuary to look. And so we got to get some good numbers for you on what it would cost to, for instance, recover the pews, or take the pews out and put cushy chairs in. You've seen in some churches, I'm sure, that you visited with that setup. So we're just trying to take all those considerations into account before we make a big financial decision. So that's what we're looking at now. And again, in 2 weeks, we're going to have the final list of, we have pretty much our counts for 2020 set up. Everybody's consented to serve, except for the one position. That slot will be filled. And then we're going to ask you to approve that. And then we're also going to ask you by a vote to approve our budget for next year as well. We went through all 63 lines of the budget. So we pumped up some lines again for some of the maintenance items. Using this money, we didn't sort of pick a number and back into a budget. We built the budget from line 1 through all the other lines and did as best as we could based on what we know. We have some copies of the actual line-by-line budget in the back. If you're that kind of person and want to see the detail, we got them right back on the baptismal font. And if you have any questions about anything, you can certainly talk to me or anybody else that serves. There were 4 or 5 of us on the call. On Friday we spent some time going through it. I think. Oh, well, that's just the cash balance. We try and show you the cash balance, when we do our Friday financials. But it sure is nice having a little bit of money in savings versus not. Any other questions? Does anybody have any questions? Now's the time. You have any questions? Certainly want to thank, I'm still in for a couple months yet on the council, but I've served with some lovely people over all my time here, and the current council is no exception. You can't do it without all the help here, right? You can't do it. So just to keep everybody in the loop and know what's going on at your church, because after all, it's your money. We try and do as best we can at that, let you know what the situation is and options that we might have, and that's always been our goal. Tom? Yes? Oh, yes, yeah, we're helping out the synod with our mission offering. We also pumped up our marketing budget a little bit, so to do some of the things that Tom's talking about with some of the outreach, we found to be very effective. We put some money where we think it'll serve us the best, do the most good for God. Anything else I forgot, Tom? Everybody good? All right, have a great day. Thank you.